Hello and welcome to another episode of the Iraqi Football Podcast. I'm your host Hassan and Bilal, and I'm joined by the good friend of the Iraqi Football Podcast, Hamad. Hamad, welcome.
Yeah, it's great to be back again to discuss another international break over Iraqi football.
Yeah, man, I love these kind of international windows because I don't know, football just is a bit different, and obviously once you kind of get involved in the game and you know the players on a personal level, you start to enjoy it a little bit more. But I don't know, for me, with United, my club, or Manchester United just being terrible, I really do look forward to these particular weeks. So I'm excited to discuss a lot of what's happened recently. What do you enjoy the most about international breaks or Iraqi football?
Obviously, to be honest, seeing the team as it gets gradually upgrading, they gain more chemistry with Casas and seeing game by game how much we improved. Yeah, that's the type of things that I'm most excited about with international breaks.
Yeah, I think just in general, alhamdulillah, it's an exciting time for Iraqi football. And we've got a lot to discuss today. We have four games in particular that we're going to focus on. We're going to be looking at the under-23s and the first team. So, yeah, let's jump straight into things, Mohammed. Let's start looking at the Qatar game, right? We previewed this prior to the game, and we talked about what I was expecting to happen, who we thought would be selected. And lo and behold, a lot of what we discussed actually happened. One of the things that we discussed being that Ali Adnan will be the main guy starting at centre back. And that did happen. There were a lot of absences, though, within the squad. Talk me through your thoughts on the team.
So yeah, we started with Ali Adnan and Ribin Sulaqa as centre backs. I think they held the line very well, and especially in the build-up, they were very. I think they did very well. Especially Ali Adnan. It's not. I don't think he's familiar with that position as he is as much as to left as he is to left back. But I think he did very well for someone who's not very much used to being a centre back. And I think it was also the first time that Rebin played with Mir Khas and Ali Adnan and Mustafa Saadoun. So I think as a defensive unit, I think they did well together. But
I think in general, it was quite a good performance. Obviously, you'd like to win those games, but out of the two, we were the closer one in terms of who nearly scored. We had Ali Jassim, who made his debut. He fitted in quite well. I think wasn't incredible, but I think he had a good first half. He had a shot cleared off the line, and yeah, he looked like he was, let's say, up to it within that standard. They didn't look lost, which was always very promising. We saw Danilo making his debut. I think when Danilo came on, he looked serious. He looks very
very sharp, yeah.
30 minutes that he played. It was exciting, I don't think. I'm just thinking now, do we have many plays that you see just pick up the ball and just run at defenders? I can't think of many.
That's what Danilo and Ali Jassim. They're a bit similar in how they dribble and how they get past players.
I don't think so. I don't think so. I think Ali Jassim is you might disagree with me, but I think he likes to go central more. He reminds me more of a Bashar type player, Ali Jassim. But I think Danilo is just like an out and out winger, man. Just get the ball. He's like a bit like Garnacho at United. Just get the ball, just run at the fullback. And obviously he does cut in, but I think he's something different.
He has that Latin Americans swagger to him.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. And I think it's something that might prove important for the national team, especially if we're playing a team like Japan, man. Because what he does, he provides this kind of an outlet where he can. You're under pressure. If you're playing like against Japan, most likely we're going to be playing five at the back and four in the middle, and one guy up front. He's the kind of guy where if you have, let's say, Ayman, Ali Hamadi, and then Danilo, bro, you just have a low block, get the ball and just launch it and then hope one of them gets into the end of it.
I think he's the perfect guy to play off a striker like a Hamadi or an Ayman. They hold up the ball and give it to him. Yeah,
yeah, exactly. So he's someone I'm very excited to watch and see how much he can actually offer the national team. Mustafa Saadoun, we're missing a lot of right backs, man. We missed Alan, we missed Hassan Ali, we missed Alai Fadil. He did okay.
Yeah, for a first time
Yeah, he did
wearing the national team shirt, I think he did very well.
Yeah.
Like yeah.
Who else did we see in that game? I feel like I'm missing someone.
So the midfield was Osama and Amjad Atwan, I think.
Yeah, I think that I remember thinking like that was interesting because what happened there is I feel Casas will play Osama 100%. Emir, I'd imagine in the middle it will be Emir or Zidane in that number 8 role. But I felt like he took a gamble on Amjad Adwan to see like let me give him a chance. And then we see what.
Especially he hasn't played much club football like the others.
Yeah, exactly. And to be fair, when he came on against Thailand, I thought he was all right. He scored one of the goals as well. So I felt like this is his chance to really prove himself. He did okay. But I mean, the issue with Iraqi football and the first team especially is that you just don't see that progressive build-up play. Like when we attack, it usually comes off from like a really good run or like a defensive error or a long ball or whatever. But I want to see. It's weird I'm saying this, but you saw it a lot with the under-20s.
Yeah,
Kind of touch pass, kind of build up play, etc. We have very good players in the national team. I'm not sure why it's just not clicking. Maybe it is a matter of time. But one thing that I will say based on this is Ahmed Basel starting, and not just the Qatar game, but he played the other game as well. So I was chatting to some of the boys in the camp. Like, what's that about? Like Fahad Baalib is a good goalkeeper. He's more experienced, a very good shot stopper as well. And then obviously Jalal's the captain. He's not playing. And from what I gather, based on the feedback that I received, it just seems like Casas is trying to play out the back, and he sees
the best keeper
as the best goalkeeper with his feet. And I think I would never have guessed this. Even in the last podcast, we talked about I can't see Jalal being dropped even after him.
Very strange.
Yeah, fair man. I guess Casas knows what he wants. And how do you think he did? Ahmed Basel.
I think Ahmed Basel, apart from the penalties in the Qatar game, he was pretty comfortable. I think with his, I think that he was a big part in like the build up, especially.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't think he misplaced that many passes.
Yeah, I think
even when he went long, he was on target.
There was a few times where you see from the goalkeeper, rather than launching it route one, we had Ali Adnan come into the box, Rabin come into the box, and we're trying to like pass it out from the back. And it was interesting. It was interesting. I think overall the Qatar game we were okay. I think we were good. I think to say okay is harsh. We were good. How much of it do you think was Qatar just being crap, or we just didn't let them play?
Well, I didn't think Qatar were that impressive at all. Like
they weren't. No, they weren't. I think they were rubbish. But do you think it's just more that they are a team in decline, or that it was just a one-off, or that Iraq, the way we played, nullified anything that they could have done?
I'd say it's a bit of both because I don't think Qatar looked like the usual self. The decision making, especially in the final third, was horrible. Like they were shooting from that many yards out. It's not the Qatar you saw in 2019 Asian Cup.
No, definitely not. And to be fair, Carlos Queiroz, their manager, came out and said that was probably my worst.
He said, it was one of the worst matches he played, and Iraq deserved to get it.
Yeah, a lot of that goes down to the boys and to Casas himself. So fair play, man. I mean, another day, a bit more luck. We're winning that game, I reckon. So it is what it is. It is what it is. You're going to win some, you're going to lose some. And in that particular game, we lost on penalties. So it is what it is. Let's move on. Look at the second game. Now, second game, we played Jordan, who lost to Iran in the other fixture in round one. few more changes here. Interestingly enough, Ahmed Basel continues in goal, which kind of showed what the boys were telling me. There seems to be some truth in it, number one. Mustafa Saadoun dropped for Ibrahim Baish at right back. That was interesting. I talked prior to that game about how like Baish is one of the first names on the sheet, and just because, and I don't mean this in a disrespectful way, but like he can run like a donkey for 90 minutes, 120 minutes, and it will just do exactly what the manager says, and I rate that, man. Like every team needs somebody like that. The younger listeners amongst you, like might remember that Park Ji-sung at United. Sir Alex used to always choose Park Ji-sung just because he will just run and do exactly what Sir Alex says. So Baish reminds me of that. He is that sort of player, and to have him at right back shows you how much Casas just trusts him. He would rather have him there than somebody else, even if he's not, let's say, a natural right back. Rebian Solaka was a bit sick for that game, so he played Franz Botros at centre back, right centre back. I thought that was a bit of an odd selection.
Two full-backs in the centre
Yeah,
backs.
Ali Adnan, captain, by the way, across both games, which is something we'll come back and discuss later. And then Markhas at the back. How do you think those four did?
See, on your point about Bayish, it's also about Casas, like keeping him as one of the first names on the team sheet. Like in that game, Bayish played right back, right mid, and at the end of the game, you could see he went to the central areas. So I think that highlights the importance of Bayish, especially.
No, I agree.
I think for the goal, I don't think the centre backs could have done much because it was a crazy goal, bicycle kick.
Yeah, it was an amazing goal. I saw some people trying to have a go at Ali Adnan for that, which is
It's difficult.
Yeah, I don't know. I think for me, though, that game, I think Ali Adnan was the best player. Khas had a very, very good game, but if anything, Ali
Ali
Adnan.
was brilliant across both games.
Sorry again?
I'd say Ali was our best player across the two games.
Maybe, but I mean, to play out of your natural position, to play in the centre back area, not as a left back, just shows you like the quality that he possesses. And alhamdulillah, like I'm so happy that he is able to adjust to the centre back position, because this is a situation that we are in desperate need of some quality. It's clear Casas doesn't rate the likes of Munaf, RTM doesn't seem to really rate Ali Faiz, Mustafa Nadam. I think the only players he really trusts is Ali Adnan, Rabin, Saad Natab, and Franz Botros as well, which is, again, interesting since France isn't naturally a centre-back. So, yeah, that centre-back situation, Ali Adnan, that goes somewhat to resolving some of the problems that we face there.
I think it also shows like the professionalism of Ali Adnan. Like if you nobody would have imagined like a year ago that Ali Adnan would come back to the national team and be a starter after the World Cup qualifying campaign that he had. So
yeah, and bro, like against Russia, man, when he played against Russia, he looked out of it. It looked like he won a competition. Yeah. But bro, like we talk about Ali Adnan being the expat that went on to actually achieve anything in Europe. This is why, man, because when push comes to shove, my guy puts his head down and he focuses on football. And you see him now, bro. He's fit, he's lean, he looks the part, man. He looks like a serious European footballer, man. And I love it. I love seeing him like this, because with Ali Adnan, the better he does, it just sets a stand for other young players in the Iraqi league to go out and succeed, go make money, go make history, get yourself a young, attractive wife from wherever, bro, and live in Dubai or whatever. But bro, I rate that. I want other younger Iraqi players looking at him thinking, bro, I want that. I want that same clout. I want that Louis Vuitton belt my man turns up in or whatever. So it's good. It's good for Iraqi football, and I rate him, and I want Ali Adnan to do really, really well. So that's why I'm always supporting the guy, because what he's done is he's a pioneer for Iraqi football, man. He really is. But yeah, man. So we ended up conceding that goal. Half time, Casas makes a couple of changes, and he's done this quite a few times, man. Where first half is crap, and he makes a few changes, and suddenly the game shifts. So this time round, he brought in Ali Al Hamadi. He brought in
Amen. Like the two,
Rebin. Yeah, he brought in Rebin, and who else came on as well?
Amen Hussein, but he didn't come on at halftime. I think he came on a bit
Oh yeah,
after.
no, this is about 55 minutes, so about 10 minutes after halftime. You're right.
He brought on Amjad and CDM. Took
Yeah,
off.
yeah. So he did change things up a little bit. What were you thinking about the manager and his ability to kind of read the game and read weaknesses in opposition and change things up?
I think he's very good at adjusting to different like game states. I'd say like, in the Thailand Cup, his substitutions made a difference. Like he brought in Ayman in the first game against India,
Yeah.
and he ended up winning a penalty and converting it. And in this time, what he brought in Hamadi and Ayman, and they both made a big difference. Both scoring and getting on the score sheet. So
Yeah, exactly. Two good goals. He also gave young Ali Haidar his debut. I think he follows Ahmed Radhi, Allah yarhamah, becomes the second youngest ever Iraq to represent the national team. Is a player that I've got a lot of time for. He's like my little brother to me. I've got a lot of love for him, and to see him go and make his debut like that, I was super proud. I don't think we'll see him with the national team for a while, to be honest with you. But I think from Casas's perspective, that was a genius move, man. I know Sweden have been sniffing around, trying to see if he's available. Radhi Shneishil and Ahmad have kind of been reluctant to invite Ali Haidar to the national team. So Casas kind of took it in his own hands and said, you know what, leave it with me, I'll bring you. And yeah, it will do wonders for the young guy. Like as a young footballer, you want to feel loved, you want to feel wanted, and you want to feel like you have a role to play in this team. So just being in that environment, he'll mature from it, he'll grow up a lot from it. And I don't know if you remember, Mohammed. Me and you were talking about a year ago, man. I was telling you guys about in the group, telling you guys about this young kid called Ali Haidar, and I was like, man, this kid's gonna be massive. And people were saying, no, he's not. He plays for Stoke. He's this, and I was like, bro, just trust me, watch. Yeah. And then I even had somebody on a tweet that I posted about him saying, "Oh, you're bigging this guy up too much just because he's your friend." I was like, "Bro, just watch. I'm telling you, this kid is serious." What did you think of the whole situation?
must have been a great moment for the guy, especially like getting your debut and
Bro, 18 years old, 16,
18 years old
16
is
days.
crazy.
Man.
Yeah. But I
Yeah,
hope this means that Arabi will be more open to selecting him because other than Blind, you don't
let's
have a
put a
left
little
wing in that
pressure.
team.
Let's put a little pressure on him now that his
Yes,
guys played in the first team. People are going to be looking at all they thinking, bro, my man's played in the first team. Were you playing at? You know what I mean?
yeah. Well, I still think it's. I don't know what their excuse is for not calling him up. I know people say, "Oh, he's too like, he's not as like tall or anything," but he's a
Bro,
great
he's not
footballer in my
that
opinion.
short, man.
If
He,
Casas
he
wants him in the
finds
team, I mean,
himself. He's a bit small in terms of his frame, but
frame, yeah. But
he's not a centre back. You know what I mean?
exactly, I don't think it would.
Bro, thing is, go look at Zidane when you first started playing for Iraq. Go look at Alex when he made his debut for Iraq. They're not the same specimens that they are now. Zidane's bulked up massively. Alex is bulked up massively. Yani, be patient. Give the guy a chance. Let's see what he's about. It's not fair to say, oh, he's not a big guy, bro. Just doesn't matter. Maybe game one for under 23. Was it against Emarat when he set out
I
that?
think he set up Dul Faqar. I think it was against Vietnam.
You
Great
know,
assist of him
bro,
in
dirty,
the right.
dirty, man. He done the prayer completely and just whipped it in like it was nothing. You'd never imagine this is him coming on making his debut for under 23 team, and he was 17 then. So I know he's a baller, man, and inshallah, he gets his chance. But yeah, I think that's a good segue. Actually, before we move on, let's discuss a few other things. So we talked about Amjad. I want to talk about the other substitute, which was Ali Hamadi. and Ayman. Ali came in, man, again, just like getting the ball, just running at Brez was so good to see. I thought he was
Yeah.
fantastic, Alawi, and it felt like his confidence is coming back. He's had a somewhat challenging start to the season. I'll be real with you. Like I've been following his games. I've been going to his games. He's not been playing badly, but he's just
But
struggling to put the ball in the net, which is, you might argue, the
unlucky.
hardest thing in football. He's just had a bit of bad luck, and I think his confidence just dipped a little bit. But now I think this will do wonders. Hopefully he can pick up from here, and also like with his club start knocking them in. He scored a hat trick recently, becoming the youngest ever Iraqi to score a hat trick in England. So that was amazing to see. But also, and I've said this before, and I get criticised a lot for it. Ayman Hassania. Ayman has a role to play, and I've always said this. And people talk, oh, Hassanin is begging it with the local players, or now they call me Mahallabi, which is like a derogatory term for like La'ab Mahallabi.
Yeah.
Nonsense. Bruv,
Form a very good partnership, I think.
you're playing against teams like Indonesia, okay? Against Indonesia, I'm not being funny. The average height in Indonesia is 5'1", okay? Playing against teams like Philippines in the group stages, against Vietnam in the Asian Cup. Bro, get Ayman from the bench. If it's 0-0 and there's 30 minutes left, yeah, get Ayman or just stop. Who's flipped him, bro? Like, he's a very good plan B. Whatever you want to say about Ayman, he reminds me, again, I keep coming up with these like United references. He reminds me of Marwan Fellaini for United under David Moyes and under Louis van Gaal. So between 2013 to about 2017, I swear.
He just find a way. He just find a way to score.
Yeah, Fellaini was wicked for United. People want to talk about him as being a bad signing, but I swear to God, he always played with his heart on his sleeve. He was like always give 110%. And when nothing is working for your team, you could always rely on Fellaini and Ayman to get their head on a header that might come down for Al Hamadi to finish. Or he might get a header in, or he might like against India. Just him being so big, you're gonna get these little small Indians just grabbing his shirt and putting him down or whatever. Like, bro, this player, he's useful. I've never asked for Ayman to start. For me, he's not a starter unless it's specific games, like against Indonesia. But he's a good option to have on the bench. The other area that I think is Mimi. Now, Mimi, I thought he did okay in the first game. He looked like his touch was on point. He looked excited. He was getting the ball, running at players. Second game, he just, I don't know. He didn't look very, very good against Jordan. And it is getting me worried that we've got Ayman, we've got Hamadi. I've always said this. Ayman has a role to play. He's not a starter. And then Hamadi, rate him is brilliant. But I think it's not fair to have all our hopes tied to this young footballer who's, I think, Ali's 21 now?
21, yeah.
Yeah.
22.
It's a bit harsh to say, oh, listen, 21-year-old gets to the Asian Cup final or whatever. I think that's a bit harsh. So we need the third player, and I don't think Mimi's going to be ready, if I'm honest with you. Although I've heard incredible things from him, about him, and I know Casas racing. So we're going to find that third striker from that. No, you have Asurustum, he's kind of vanished. You have
Laundi. Well, I think Laundi, he's
a young player. I don't know, man. Laundi, I can't see that happening. But then who you're left with? You're left with Ammar Mohsen, who hasn't really played much with the national team.
Pashang isn't really on form.
That again?
Pashang isn't really on form right now.
Yeah, his team's struggling to score goals. He's not scored a single goal in Allsvenskan since he signed for his club, who will sit in like second last position. Who is there?
I'd say even when Mimi was playing, I think he was forcing it a lot. Like,
yeah, it seemed like he had the kind of like he was trying to prove something. He was getting the ball and just running, but his touch looked good. He looked confident. I like that, man. After a long layout like that, a player like just looks awkward. Take your mind back to Ali Adnan against Russia. People don't realize that an ACL injury is so serious. I've had the same injury with my left knee. Honestly, you can't really move. You can't turn. You feel slow. always like mentally worried that the same thing is going to happen, that the same recurring injury will happen a third time or second time, whatever. But maybe when he was playing, he didn't look like he was worried about that, but he did look very, very rusty. I mean, there was this one chance against Jordan when he was through on goal.
1-on-1.
Yeah, wasted it. He just looked not with it, to be honest with you. And I think he needs a season of football, man. He needs a season of just kind of finding his feet, playing for Shogba, and just enjoying football again. And maybe we'll see him coming back and being the fantastic striker we all remember him to be. But I just feel it's a bit too soon right now. Overall, though, I think the main takeaway for me is that we're quite good at penalties. I think we're fantastic at penalties. I think it's been important practice recently for us to actually kind of like see who can take them, who can't, get the keepers a chance to save some. And I think overall that's been fantastic to see. But if you look at our games over the last since the World Cup, I don't think we've won a single game.
90 minutes. Yeah.
In 90 minutes, yeah. Because you know what? When you win on penalties, technically that's not really a victory. It's not considered a win. It's considered a draw. Yeah. So on one hand, you could look at the last 4 games and think we're unbeaten. You can look at them and think that Iraq are a team that is difficult to beat, which is good. And we have been in all our games. There's very few games where we've been battered. The only game where I think we got battered and spanked was against Mexico. And
that was in the Radhi.
Yeah, exactly. But since Casas has come, we've been a hard team to beat. And I think that's so important because when you're going into a cup competition, you want to be a team that can turn things around. If you're losing, you're playing crap, the manager makes a change or two, suddenly we're getting a draw, we're getting 1 point, or we're going into a penalty shootout in a qualification, in a knockout game where we're getting battered, and then you have a chance with penalties. So I think, like, credit where it's due, that's been very, very good for the team's development under Casas. But yeah, obviously you want to be able to win games in 90 minutes, and we should be winning against Thailand and India. And I think the way we played against Qatar, we should have won that game, and then we should be beating Jordan as well. My only real issue with Ahmed Basra during the whole recent 2 games was that second goal was shocking, man. That long ball bounced on the edge of the box by Amen. I don't know what he was doing. It goes past and it was pretty much directly at Ahmed Basra. He just jumps on top of the ball.
Deflected off.
Yeah, you can't be considering like that in a game. I think that's poor. So, have you by any chance got the squad in front of you?
Oh yeah.
Let's go through some of the players and then let's see who do we expect to still be here within the Asian Cup from the players that were there today. And who do we think will come in, and what difference will that make for us?
So I'd say the keepers will stay as they are.
3 keepers, I agree. It will be Ahmed Basra, Talib, and Jalal Hassan.
Even after the Asian Cup, I think it will remain.
I agree. I think Ahmed Basra will be our goalkeeper for the long time or the foreseeable future.
Which is, I think it's unexpected, but it is what it is.
Yeah. Let's move on to the defense.
So we had Mustafa Saadoun was him and Fatas with the right backs.
He won't be there, I think. So if you bring in Hussein Ali, that's 1 starter automatically.
And Alan Muhaddin, I think they'll be a right back.
Yeah, as well as substitute. Yeah, I can't see Ali Fadl. He's not played enough football.
Yeah,
I think those 2 will definitely be in the final spot.
For left back, I'd say they'll also stay the same unless Durgham makes a return on Hanajaz, but that's unlikely, I think.
That's not going to happen. I think it will be Ahmed Yahya, who I'm not the biggest fan of, but then we have Malkhas, who's like listening. So we're good there.
I'd say centre backs. So we called up Macias Artin, who I'm pretty sure he won't even be here next month with the squad.
Yeah, that's a bit of a weird one.
I'd say Saad Nata comes in for him as a direct replacement.
Yeah.
And then we also called up Munaf Yunus.
Yeah, Munaf's a bit of a weird one. I can't see him really playing. You're allowed 23 players. How many centre backs do you take? You take 5.
If you play a 5 centre backs, you'd call 5, but
Yeah. So
I'd
we
say
have 3 already. We have Rebin, Saad Natak. We have also. So that leaves 2 more. I'd imagine Franz Potros is going to be one of them just because of the versatility that he adds to the squad.
There's recent reports that Casas wants Ali Fayez returning, so I don't know. We'll see.
I think that's definitely one kind of area that we have issues. There's reports that Emir Dekhaid might want to play for Iraq. Don't know what to make of that. I'm not getting my hopes up. Would you want him to join?
Yeah, I'd say I'd welcome him, but I don't think many of the fans would.
You say that, bro. If he has
they'd be hostile, but
I don't think so. If he comes in, has one good 90-minute game, I think everything could be like forgiven.
I think it'll be hostile at first, but
I can't see it. Iraqi fans are fickle, bro. I'll be real with you. If he comes back, me being one of them, man, like I don't want to hate him on a personal level, but I do really hate the fact that he decided to play for Belgium. If he kind of goes against that decision and plays for Iraq, man, come here.
Premier League centre back would just
so many man. He's not been in good form for Burnley. He's out of the Belgium squad as well. Yeah, maybe he's realizing he's cocked up. But I'm not gonna get excited. You know, his dad, him, they were flirting with the Iraqi fans, giving them hope, and I don't want to go through that whole
scenario again. Yeah.
So if he comes, that's a bonus. I'm not expecting him to be there. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, I'd say it's a bit of a tough situation.
Yeah, let's go through the middle. So I think the middle is a bit of a weird one. So we have Amjad, Emir, Osama,
and Ahmed Ali,
and
the French guy, Ahmed Ali.
Ahmed Ali, I can't see him being there, to be honest with you. I think if Zidane's fit, he's out automatically, and Zidane.
That's the direct replacement for Zidane.
Exactly. And then we look at, for example, the wingers. Bayish 100% going to start every game, no matter what happens.
And bring Ali Jassim and Danilo for sure.
Yeah, so those two, both new additions, big call-ups. I think very, very important. I think, bro, in terms of upgrade from Hussein Ali to those two is crazy.
Karim and all those, it's huge upgrade.
Alhamdulillah, again, we're talking about the development of Iraqi football. This is what we need to see, man. Like good footballers coming through. So that's really promising.
Then I'd say the fourth spot is, I think it'll be between whatever happens with the Yusuf Amin situation, and I think Andre Al-Sanat will be in the conversation as well, and Ahmed Farhan. I think those are the 3 that I'd say are for that spot, the last 4th winger.
Yeah, for example, the whole thing with Muntadhar Majid, is he going to be there? Is he not going to have his paperwork ready? I don't know. There's a lot of issues, but it's a good problem to have. It's a good problem to have, I think. Alex going to be there? Do you think?
I hope so, but it's looking like he might stay with Radhi. But
yeah, I can't see it happening. To be fair, I can't see him joining. He's in a bit of a weird situation at QPR, where he's in the squad. He's one of the few young players actually with the first team, training with them, not regularly, but he is the closest one to making that transition. But he needs game time, man. He needs to develop. He's looked very, very good on the 21 this season. Gone to a few of his games. But yeah, I think there's question marks there. But that's a good segue. We're talking about under 23s. Let's look at their recent 2 games. They played against Morocco. Yeah. They won 1-0 against a very, very talented, impressive Moroccan side. So Radhi Shneishil, or as we like to call him in the group, Pep Radiola, he managed to pull 3 points out of the bag, and then we beat Dominican. Is it Dominica or Dominican Republic? I can never tell the difference.
There's 2. Yeah, well, we played the Dominican Republic. I think it was also in Morocco, the game.
Yeah, the game was also in Morocco. Did you watch them? What do you think?
Yeah, the first game, I don't think it's good to judge from it because we were just pinned back in the own half. But
okay, but we're playing Morocco.
Yeah. So it's expected.
The
Yeah.
players are all European based, man. This is not some joke team. Like, this is a serious football team.
Yeah. And yeah, I think the goal was very impressive from Ali Musa. We
Yeah,
loved it. Though Alex played that long ball in behind.
yeah.
Ali did very well to get away from his man. Then Hamwi finished it. So yeah, I'd
Very good
say
finish as well, man.
I'd say also Zaid and Yusuf and Imam were quite impressive in that game as well.
Yeah. I think it was all round a very good performance. And in the second game, we were 2-0 up at half time, if I remember correctly. It was a while back.
Two, yeah,
And,
Alex and Lawandi.
it finished 2-1 now with them having a penalty. I can't remember if they scored it or not. I think they did, didn't they?
3-1. So I think yeah, they scored that penalty. I'm pretty sure, and then we got a goal in the last 10 minutes.
Yeah. Again, another win. Another win. And we needed that confidence boost after that shaky performance against Kuwait. So,
I'd say the professional players and like he brought back Marco Faraj, Ali Moussaoui, and Amin Hamou. He brought them all back in the team. I think they made the difference, in, especially in the Dominican game.
yeah, man, we have so many good quality players for the under 23s and under 20s. It's actually insane, man. Like, we have so much quality. Um, is Radhi Shneishil the right man for the job? I don't know, man. I like him as a person. I think he's a great guy. Most players have very nice things to say about him. We're starting to see some kind of chemistry in the last two games amongst the players, but I think
Yeah,
time
big
will
improvement.
tell. Only issue is the Asian Cup's around the corner, man. It's what, in April. And
I
you
also say it's about. I don't think if you want to make the Olympics, I don't think we will do it with Radhi, but we'll see.
Yeah, but the question then is also like he's relying on these expat players. A lot of them may not even be there for the Asian Cup because
Because they need permission
yeah,
from
because
the clubs.
outside of like the the international window. So yeah, that's another issue that we're going to face. But yeah, let's wait and see.
So I was going to mention. So how will say if Casas wants a player for the Asian Cup, but Radhi does not want to mix between the Olympic team and the main team.
Yeah,
So
I
like
think,
if
I think
Casas wants Alex, for instance,
yeah, or I think more realistically, probably Zaid Tahsin would be the player
yeah,
close to making that jump to the first team. I think Casas has to be smart. He wants to make sure that he's not stepping all over Radhi Shneishil. There's been a bit of tension between the two camps because of some comments made by I think the assistant manager for the under 23s. So it's a bit like I imagine it's very frustrating for Casas, who wants to have a good relationship with the Radhi, but those comments don't really help. And yeah, I just think that he he doesn't want to kind of take players that Ronaldo's relying on. So I think he's going to be a bit careful in terms of who he selects to make sure that that relationship doesn't get too cold.
that's
Um,
because they had that meeting, and I think Casas only got out with he could only get Ali Jassim and Saadun out of the under 23s.
yeah. And to be fair, I'd imagine Saadun's going to drop back into the under 23s once.
Yeah, Alan and Hussein
I
Ali.
think realistically, Ali Jassim's the only one that's going to be like a permanent addition to that first team. And he's a quality player. Whatever you want to say about his move falling apart to Turkey, whatever, guy's a baller. So yeah, alhamdulillah. So we have those two games. Next up, we have the World Cup qualifiers officially starting, right? So
Return
this is round two officially now, right?
Yeah,
Um,
the return of Iraqi football to Basra.
yeah. So return of hopefully, unless something terrible happens, inshallah, official football return to Basra. Um, we will see Iraq play against is it Vietnam, isn't
Indonesia at home and then
Indonesia,
Vietnam.
Indonesia at home. Hopefully a comfortable win. And then we play Vietnam away. Vietnam are no easy team, man, but we should still be winning. Like, I hope we can. Worst case scenario, we get a draw because they're the only team that I think actually can take something away from us if we are not careful.
Yeah.
And just this round, it's the top one team that goes through, if I'm not mistaken, right?
The top one and then the best third place, I think.
No, I think it's the
Oh, is it because the new like system? I think the top two teams go through.
the top two teams go through.
Yeah,
Okay, so realistically, we should be making
we
it
should be.
through
Yeah.
the round, but I think this period really, like these two games, is just getting us ready for the Asian Cup coming up because that's really what it's going to be about. So, any any real changes can you see happening from the gaffer?
Yeah, so I think there's like reports recently that he's not going to make any changes or like he's not going to change the recent squad list that much. So he's only going to bring in players that he's already tried. Like, but, we'll see. Let's see.
Yeah, I think this is the time now to just have a settled squad.
So
I was reading today that one addition he is looking to make is bringing Justin Merriman. Someone, some journalists reporting that Justin has been selected and he's going to be with the first team, which is odd considering Justin himself hasn't heard anything. I spoke to him shortly after reading that. I was like, bro, what's going on? You heard anything? And he hasn't. So if there is some truth to that, it's interesting, man. I mean, Justin plays as a like left winger, right? And we're packed in that particular place. The only thing that I'm thinking is that maybe Casas is looking at Mimi and thinking, nah, he's not going to be ready in time, and he's thinking maybe bring in Justin, play him as a second striker. What do you think of
that
that?
could also be something we consider. Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, it wouldn't be the weirdest thing. I'll tell you that much. Because he's brought back the likes of Ali Adnan. He gave Mimi a chance. It's clear he's trying to find players with experience that can handle the pressure at the Asian Cup.
We brought Ahmed Yassin I think at the very start of his reign, but then he had to make the move to Saudi.
And Justin's had a very good season. You know, his team have just played and qualified for the playoffs coming up for the MLS. So yeah, man,
He beat Messi yesterday.
that was yesterday. Yeah, his club's doing good. He's playing well. And even though he doesn't want to admit it and he tries to be cool about it, I think he would love to come back and play for Arab. I know you're listening, Justin. So yeah, it'll be nice to see him back. I love Justin and I want him to wear the Iraqi shirt again, have maybe one last proper hold down with the national team. I think it'll be a nice little send up for him. So let's wait and see. Any last thoughts, Mo, before we wrap things up?
No, we've covered everything today.
Yeah.
I'd say.
Very quickly, what's your predictions then for the Indonesia match?
I'd say I want to say a comfortable win versus Indonesia because we'll be in front of the Basrawi faithful, and then I'd say I'd say a tough win against Vietnam. I think we'll struggle for a bit, and then we'll catch on, and then we'll be victorious. I'd say.
I'm gonna go. I'm not gonna be as like let's say comfortable. I think we'll get a 2-0 win against Indonesia, inshallah. And I reckon a 1-1 draw with Vietnam. Maybe a late comeback or something like that. We'll see. A lot of it depends on who comes back for the squad. Zidane, so is he going to be fit? Is Hassan Ali going to be fit? Hassan, did he play yesterday for Herenveen?
Hussein Ali, yeah, he started the game and then he got subbed off, I think.
Yeah, so hopefully those players will be back. Yeah, there's a lot of ifs and buts, but I think the potential's there. So let's see. Fingers crossed.
I'd say the best thing about facing Indonesia and Vietnam is that we directly faced them in the Asian Cup like a month after. So
Yeah, 100%, man. It's going to be. I think it's going to be very interesting to see the level where we actually are at, and that will determine essentially who's starting those games. So fingers crossed. I'm super excited. It's weird, man, because before, honestly, like 15 years ago, 10 years ago, when United were good, I used to hate international breaks because it means, oh, I can't watch Manchester United. Now I hate these club periods, and all I look forward to is the international break. So Yalla, let's go. Can't wait for the next Arab match. All right, we'll wrap things then, Hamad. Thank you so much. And guys at home, we'll hopefully record for you guys the next episode. Hopefully after we've beaten Indonesia and Vietnam. But yeah, see you then. Take care.